Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight to Talladega Super Speedway on iRacing for tonight's main event. That is a flood relief 75. Shit should be a good one. Of course, I am one of your main hosts here for tonight, Charles Hooten, up in the booth. Joining me down trackside for tonight is going to be none other than, of course, Samuel Dyer and Alex Robinson calling all the shots, and we'll go ahead and quickly introduce them. And Alex, Sam, what are we expecting here tonight?
It's going to be 75 laps here at Talladega in the truck cars. It's exciting for everyone here, and a lot of prize money to be earned, and also a great just fundraising that we're going to be seeing here tonight, as this is, like you said, the Flood Relief 75. Team 606 iRacing, they came together trying to help give some relief and try to help out the Lee County search and rescue, and trying to help with the historic flooding that has happened on the eastern side of Kentucky. And as you see on the screen, this is information to go out, help donate, and help with the relief, as this is historic. There are so many damaged buildings and towns just absolutely ruined, and we're hoping to help in every way possible here. And Alex, racing here at Super Speedway Racing, it's going to be a fun one. You're usually watching dirt races, but going to be on asphalt looking at some trucks wheeling it around this 2.5-mile course.
And Talladega, what is one of the biggest things known for Talladega? Drafting, and the big one. Will there be a big one later on in this race tonight? I hope not. I hope there's going to be some phenomenal racing. But again, it's going to be keep your eye out for the big one late in this race tonight.
Yeah, the big one, certainly what is on everyone's eyes as we're counting down to qualifying. Qualifying is going to be two of the best lap times the drivers can put down. The best one and trying to get up front the fastest that they can, and then we'll have 75 laps to run here. It's exciting racing to see as Team 606, they put this all together, and a major field we're starting to see as we've got, I believe, a total of 37 drivers in practice right now. We had a total of 39, almost 40 drivers who have actually wanted to pay in and try to support this and try to race in this amazing race. It's going to be exciting racing to be seen. But Charles, this is going to be a fun race overall for everyone here, and such a great fundraising and trying to help out with this historic event.
Yeah, and we mentioned, we were talking about this a little bit prior to going live, was Ford Entertainment Group, Jeffrey Ford coming in here and putting $50 if somebody wins this race running a paint job that he put in there. You know, we very well could see an instance just like the real trucks that are on Fox Sports 1 right now. Big shout out to someone from there for giving us a shout out as well. But could we see a bunch of FEG cars here tonight, just like the real world counterpartner, seeing a lot of Camping World trucks out there? Spotter, maybe a little bit of a nightmare for them, but it's all for charity here tonight, and it should be a good one. You know, will we see the big one is the question, really, like y'all just mentioned.
Yeah, the big one is always looming over of the possibility when it's going to strike, if it's going to be early on, if drivers going to be aggressive, or if it's going to be later. My sense is it's probably going to be happening way earlier. Probably in the next 5 laps we're going to be seeing the big one, just because of the factor that these drivers have 2 fast repairs to work with, which practically means you've got 2 fresh trucks just sitting and waiting if you ever damage the first one you're in.
And yeah, you know, that fast repair will come in handy for some of these guys. But with the big track, drafting will be a factor here tonight. And you said with the spotter, with multiple cars are running the same paint scheme, you could see those 2-3 cars even link up here, and it could be interesting to find out who's who, depending on if they match these paint schemes up tonight.
Yeah, it is going to be a fun one. Practice soon to come to an end. 30 seconds left in practice, and then we'll be seeing everyone going out by themselves, having the track all lonesome, trying to put down their best lap times. And here at the Super Speedway tracks, it's all about building the momentum. These trucks take a while to get woed up into gear, and that means that they got to really figure out how to maximize their speed. And here at Talladega, that means on your warm-up lap, stay as high as possible, and that's what we're going to be seeing a lot of these these drivers. And then once you hit your first lap, some drivers feel like they've got enough speed and they'll go low initially in that first lap. Other drivers feel like they want to carry more speed and actually on their first lap still stay high until that final run on that final lap. Practice is coming to an end. It's time for qualifying as we are about to get going.
Yeah, qualifying, like I just mentioned, it's going to be key here. You know, we'll run through everyone's kind of thoughts here as we're waiting for them to jump out on to the track, and they're starting to do so. Where do you want to qualify? Towards the front, towards the middle, towards the back? Where is your ideal spot to be when this race starts?
I mean, I know for me personally, I would say trying to either, there's only two spots that I like being. That's leading the whole entire pack and being in first or second place, leading the inside row or the outside row, or being all the way in the back, having plenty of space to try to slow down if needed, if carnage is happening. And I do not want to be in the middle of all of these other cars just for the possibility of being caught up in a wreck.
Well, yeah, and we watched it, you know, Daytona, Talladega, these bigger tracks, it's unlike the smaller tracks where it's harder to pass. You'll see the 3 lanes of racing. So I'd start in the back. You saw it at Daytona. Denny Hamlin dropped back to the back, found his teammates, and you saw him go up front throughout that race that whole night. So it's going to be one of those, I'd start in the back. Hopefully you find some partners that can push you up towards the front.
As Ethan Fisher is going to be on our screen about to start his lap time. And as like I was talking about, stay high, close to that wall. It's where you want to be so you can build up as much speed as possible. And now going to be starting the 72's lap. As again, it's going to stay high here for the first lap and then bring it down. And everyone's money lap is going to be that second lap that they run here during qualifying.
So here you said the second lap's going to be the quickest one. And you see the top side, I could see the top side even producing some quick times here during qualifying if they can carry throughout the momentum through 1 and 2 laps here. So who knows? This could be an upset here and see somebody on that top side trying to tear down the wall, possibly setting quick time.
The key is stay smooth. Don't try to put yourself in any type of danger. So stay as smooth as possible, and we'll see how things go here. But this is going to be exciting on how this is going to go for these drivers as Fisher about to finish his first lap, and a lot of these drivers getting ready to put their first laps down, and we'll be seeing a lot of on our grid. It's shuffling here on drivers on where they're going to be placed. As Fisher was initially second, going to be pushed down. It's Eric Lee who's going to be on top of the board as Fisher pulls it to the bottom, and this is everyone's money lap. Stay low.
So now he's going low right at that yellow line. You'll see that left side right at the yellow line. That's where he's going to want to be throughout here. Keep it as straight as possible and hold the momentum, because the moment you drift up that racetrack, you basically throw away one of the best laps that you could possibly have.
Stay smooth, stay low, and you're seeing Lee just glued to that yellow line and trying to stay smooth. You're not really seeing any bobbles, and that's something you're going to be seeing a lot of during the race is drivers bobbling up and down, but Lee's doing a great job so far. Continues to stay low. This 36 machine running the 5 on the side of that car, but looking good. It's going to be besting the time, but not going to be fast enough, as it's actually going to be the 31 of Henrik that's going to be on the top of the board with a 56.17. What a great time there by the 31 machine.
And that 31 still on his second lap. So he's looking to improve here and hopefully even boost it here and put more pressure on these guys. But what qualifying does, if you're starting, mid-pack, if you're watching here, you can watch what these guys are doing, game plan for the rest. But he's trying to set the bar, and he has done it here tonight, setting quick time so far.
Yeah, I mean, it is a blistering time, and everyone else just falling a little bit short, not able to beat that crest that has been made with that 56.17 second lap time placed there by Carl Henrik. And now everyone else just falling a little bit short. The 99 tried his best, not able to do so. Oh man, this is such a hard-fought battle that everyone's putting in, but everyone's kind of falling a little bit short. Stephen Page almost able to best the time. As we're on board with Brian Kaiser, who's going to be doing his best and going to be starting that time, going straight to the bottom and running out of time. This 27 is slowly as we are almost out of time. Less than 30 seconds left in qualifying. He's got to get that motor running, and he's got to try to finish this lap time as quick as possible. It's going to be close.
As you see, he's going to drift up into the middle line here. So I don't know if he's just thinking maybe he'll test that out before qualifying ends. As we'll see him, he's going to run that middle line. Now he's going to drop down low. So he's not staying as smooth as you saw everyone else there in that top 5 doing. So that's going to cost him some time if he can get this time in.
Nope, not going to be able to do so, and that means it's race time. Charles, take it away.
All right, of course, we got a special guest going to be introducing here. We're going to toss it over to them, kind of virtually. We'll see. We'll be right back here in just a few moments.
Hi, everybody. It's Tyler Booth here, and I've been thinking about a lot of y'all here at home after this recent flooding. I know it's been a hard year for us already, but I can't wait to see us pull through this and help each other out. Neighbor helping neighbor like we always do. But yeah, I just want to let y'all know I'm praying for you, and thank y'all for watching the Team 606 Flood Relief 75. Drivers, start your engines.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's race time here for the Camping World Flood Relief Camping Relief 75. As we are looking at our grid, row number 1, the 31 machine able to get it done. Carl Hamrick able to get it done, and then to his outside, the 99 of James Perzarski. We will work on that name. We will get it right, James, by the end of the night. Then we go to row 2. We're going to be seeing Ethan Fisher and Stephen Page, and then you go down to row number 3, Clint Cox and John Cox. We're going to be trying to figure out how they're going to be working with one another, but they're going to stay side by side. Go to row number 4. That's where you're going to be seeing Roman and No. And I got to say, this 2 machine on my board of favorites to win this race has been looking really good so far. Going down to row number 5, that's when we're going to be finding the 51 of Curry as well as the 57 of Dargard.
Row number 6, it is going to be 1 sec. My screen just went black. Everything just shut down. 1 second.
Oh no. Well, I'll continue on. Row number 6 is going to be Hunter Parsons as well as Wesley Fuller. As then we drop down to row number 7. That's when we're going to be seeing the 36 as well as the 37 with one another. And dropping down to row number 8, we're going to be finding the 28 of Cody Murray, as well as we're going to be finding the 24, actually the 5, excuse me, of David Bell Jr. Row number 9 is we're going to be finding ourselves with the 24 and the 18 side by side with one another. And these are drivers that are going to be really going through the rest of the list. The middle of the pack, these drivers are going to be really in the danger zone, as there's row number 10, finding ourselves with Eric as well as Wise on his outside for the 35. And then row number 11, we're going to be finding the 19 and the 20 as well. I think Derek Sherman, also another one of those drivers, didn't have the best qualifying time, but a driver that could really move up to the front quick. And then row number 12, you got the 33 and the 15, as they'll be setting themselves up here, getting ready. This field 38 strong as we're still going through the grid. Row number 13, you've got ourselves with Jeffrey Ford, the driver that everyone is excited to see and who's put down some money if you finish out on his scheme. And then we're going to be finding ourselves with the 94 to his outside. Row number 14, we're going to be finding ourselves with the 8 and the 69. We'll see how these drivers are able to really make their charge, as they'll be starting in the back. As now we're going to be on row number 15. We got the 16 of Justin Beltley, and well as the 38 of Matt Helton. Pace truck's off. We're getting ready to go green here. As drivers are going through this tri-oval here, this is where all the tension's building up. Usually at this point, we'd be going green at Daytona, but you got to get past the tri-oval to the start-finish line, and then we get to go green. As drivers are revving up, green flags out of the air here for the Flood Relief 75. The 75 is going to be exciting to see. 75 laps of amazing racing action as they start out side by side going into turn number 1.
And you see these cars already spreading out, trying to find their partner. You see a lot of cars. Look at that outside row. A lot of them drop down to the inside row. They're going to be smart here. Hold that inside, and that's going to be the quick line right now until you get more guys trying to get to that middle line, and even we might go 3 wide here, but everyone wants to go to the bottom side so far.
Yeah, everyone trying to keep it clean right now. No one's being too aggressive, but our front two, they are still side by side right now, and you got to give credit to the 31 of Henrik, who is trying his best to hold off the 99, but man, I got to give credit to James in the 99 machine on the outside, trying to do his best to hold strong. It just needs a little bit more help if they're going to be making this push, and it looks like they're getting more help. And the momentum that they're going to be building, it's going to be so strong, and you're going to be seeing a lot of drivers swapping back and forth up front.
As you see, we're going about, you see the 3 wide almost in the back there. So cars already trying to go on the top side, see what's there. But again, the 2 middle lines being the quick way around this track right now, and the middle line finally getting some teammates here. So we could have this side by side for a long way, and then we're going to get into the pit stops later on. That's going to be a key strategy for the rest of these cars.
44 of Raman was that driver we saw go to the apron and drop to the back, and that's a strategy for most drivers, seeing, hey, how quick am I by myself during qualifying, and then saying, you know what, I feel like there might be a little bit too much raciness up front. I'll drop to the back where I feel a little bit more safer.
And you see up front still, you have James, you have Carl Handwork, Page, Fisher, Fuller. All these guys have stayed up front. Fuller actually came from 12th. He's up into the 6th spot already. So he's been moving and grooving through these cars. And he just had the smart game plan, went through the middle, and he got those outside guys sleeping. So it opened the door for him to get up there into the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about finding that opportunity. Sometimes that means you have to drop low where there's a little space where your truck just fits, and other times it's sending it through the middle. And, you know, we've seen drivers on iRacing do that before, of finding a space in the middle and sending it, and we're seeing it now. 3 wide action up front as they continue to rage on. That 3rd lane, though, they need more cars, and it looks like they're stuck out left to dry.
Has only 2 cars on that outside there, so will guys become risky and go to the top side as we see cars? Here comes 2 more cars now. They're starting to come up, but still the middle line and that bottom line are the lines to beat. But you see, now here we go, we got 3 cars on the outside line.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to already see the fact that this is the difference is, oh no, they're making contact, and away they go, spinning as it's going to be the 31 initiating that, and up front, a carnage, and everyone else being caught up into this thing.
There it is. There's the big one.
I mean, I did throw out possibly in the first 5 laps, we're going to see that wreck, as here is our LSRTV 4K Ultra HD replay. And we knew it was going to happen early. There were fast repairs to be utilized and 3 wide action as, oh my goodness, that car on the bottom just, that was the 99 that just did not have, I mean, it looked like he might have touched the apron and it shot his car up, but he just came in with so much heat, no way to hold on, and carnage up front.
So it's impressive for the cars who actually got to save it there. So there's going to be a lot of cars going to pit road now. And early on here, do you just get the quick repair, or do you go and get a fresh set of tires and get some gas a while?
I mean, it's early on. I think a lot of these drivers are going to be coming in the back half and try to get fuel at least. We know a lot of drivers are going to use their fast repair early on. And once you use your fast repair, your first one, as you do have 2 for this race, you kind of have to be diligent in thinking, when do I want to save my next repair? Do I want to race passive for these next couple of laps, next about 30 laps or so, or do you want to be aggressive? As we're starting to see some of our first drivers into the pits, they were in the middle of the field, and it looks like a lot of the drivers up front feeling comfortable and confident that they're fine and not thinking about pitting this time around.
But now we see it and we know it can happen. The big one has happened. It can happen again. But we've also seen 3 wide action. The top line looks to be quick if you have more guys being risky. But a high bank, that wall is right there. It will be dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, right before that wreck happened, I was going to bring up the point of, you just see how wide this course is. There was plenty of room for drivers to try to go 3-4 wide at times, and they were 3 wide. I thought for a second they were going to try to send it and go 4 wide, but they kept it neat and tidy and did not Some of our front runners actually did come in from 6th and 7th place. Wesley Fuller, as well as Andrew Crampton, as well as Henrik and others coming into the pits. Most of them were caught up in that wreck, so they're trying to get the damage repaired.
So now the question is, for these guys that have a good break here, who started in the back, sat back there, relaxed, enjoyed the show up front, now with all those cars having damage going in the pits, now you're up to mid-pack, even up close to the front. Here's your chance, don't blow it, of you can get up front, because remember, there's money on the line for the most led laps. Now you have a chance to lead some laps here.
Yeah, most led laps, $50 on the line, and then also top 3, they get some cash. And then also, if you're on the lead lap at the end of this race, you'll put into a draw where on the Team 606 Facebook page, they'll be doing a live draw of who's going to be that random driver to get $50 that were on the lead lap. But this race, yes, it's amazing. Yes, there's cash on the line for the drivers, but primarily what's important is trying to fundraise and donate to help with the Lee County Search and Rescue, as right now this race primarily just trying to help with the flood and trying to help with those Eastern Kentucky people that have been having a lot of struggles with the flood that just happened. As you see on screen, this is information on how to donate and help out the best that you can. And this race, all about the relief. And you know, Alex, it's great that this race even came around.
As it's great, these guys have put in a lot of time and effort, and it's come, 38 cars showed up for this race tonight. A lot of people tuning in. Like they said, we got support. Fox Sports gave us some support here in this one. So this, for a lot of hard work, and it's all coming to a head here as it pays off here, raising some good money and getting some good racing.
As up front's going to be the 57 of Jay Dargett, who's going to be leading this thing. And then behind him, Hinton's going to be one of those drivers, has been up 12 positions. And this is something that's going to be hinted on, is the fact that drivers that start in the back, they can make that move forward. And it's going to be exciting to see how they get things done as drivers able to get their laps back given waiver rounds. And so try to get back onto the lead lap. That's why we're seeing all the drivers passing our lead groups.
And one thing to look at here, so Philip Angel, he started in 31st. He's up to 13th. You have Logan Russell started 24th. He's up to 8th. So Jay Dargett, he started 10th. He's up to 1st. So the guys have gained the positions that they need.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting what they just, it was a luck of the draw, the fact that it was all the guys up front that got caught up in that wreck primarily, so they need to follow the back and try to get back. Also, opportunity for staying out instead of coming into the pits, as now cars are getting stacked up and ready to go. I mean, Alex, it's going to be a blast to continue to watch this race, but it was on lap 4 when we saw our first caution. Do we see another early caution within 4 laps of one another?
You could see another big one, but the real thing is now, with the top 8, top 10 even, these guys have been in the back. They started in the back. They're up front. You can watch and see them being a little more conservative, playing it smart like they did in qualifying and did the first half of the race. While the guys who started up front, they might be a little more aggressive, try and force a matter too early, and it could end up in another big one.
Drivers are talking strategy over the comms, trying to just let everyone say, hey, let's settle down a little bit. I mean, that's basically what everyone's going to be thinking. Whenever the big one happens early in a race, everyone's just like, okay, guys, we got a little bit of the antsiness out of our system. Let's calm down for this race and try to go on a long green flag run. And speaking of a long green flag run, these drivers, if we go on a long green flag run, we will be seeing a green flag pit stop. Most likely will happen around lap 25 to 30 with this early caution that came out. So the potential of green flag pit stops are there, but with the aggression level we saw in those first handful of laps, expecting it to get racy as the pace truck pulls off. But the long trial that these drivers need to get by, about to go around.
So with us getting ready to go back to a restart, you know that 99 of James Perchowski, he is in the 3rd spot still. So he's one of the only people that cleared it up there, didn't have to deal with the repercussions like a lot of these other cars, Handwork, he's back there. No, back there. These guys started in the top 10. They're restarting in 25th, 28th, back there. So they're going to have to gain some ground. And this green flag, if we get that green flag run, that green flag pit stop will come in handy. But look at the front three already. They've partnered up and they're playing this game smart.
Yeah, they are already in line and trying to take off as everyone else kind of just got caught sleeping as the whole entire field is so split up. This is a positive for a front three, but also could be a negative with the fact that you can get massive runs, and that's what we're starting to see as drivers back in 4th and 5th place trying to make a run here. Here comes Hunter Parsons on the outside trying to make a run in that 0-0.
Hunter Parsons, we talked about this in the pits today before this race. Hunter Parsons is a dirt guy. He runs mostly dirt, and he came out for this race, and he's up there in the top 10 right now, and he's looking for more. So it's time for him to make a name for himself in the asphalt, and no better place than at a big track like Talladega in a big race like this tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Parsons able to push Clint Cox up to the inside lane now, and now the 0-0 leading that outside group, trying to get a little bit more help. I mean, that's something that we're also going to be seeing, are some drivers looking a lot more confident and stronger pushing a car than they do when they are actually leading a group. As Parsons trying to get a little bit more help. There's 3 cars in line, about to be 4 trucks in line. And this is the aspect of racing that we're going to be seeing of drivers not getting too aggressive, it seems like. Yes, we saw that shove, but this is when up front, drivers getting a little bit antsy, though. We've seen Hunter blink periodically here, and with him leading that outside group, that's going to bog them down, and that is a terrifying sight to see.
So with him blinking, here's the time to think. Do you go to the bottom? Do you go up top? Do you try and get around him here and get a push from someone else to avoid that catastrophe that it looks like it is looming heavily right now? Because if he can't stay connected here, it can end up very dangerous. If he blinks inside somebody else, this could end in another big one up front.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to stall out the outside because they cannot go with the full momentum that they're going to be carrying, because they got to back off and be like, oh, he blinked. We don't know where he is. Slow down. And that's why they're going to be stalling out right now, battling for 4th place at the moment. But Clint Cox got the great shove from the 0-0, but ever since he got up front, Hunter Parsons just been stuck out there, still waiting. As these drivers are going to be in a wait mode where it looks like we're good. We're not trying to go 3 wide like we were seeing early in this race, just staying side by side, 2 by 2. And ooh, that's an interesting move there, as Cox is going to be going to the outside, talking about staying still. Now we're going to be stuck in the sucker hole as he's up in the middle and no help really being seen. But here comes that 5 truck trying to follow suit.
As you see, now somebody going to go to the middle, and we're going to go back. I feel like just like you jinxed it of we weren't going to go 3 wide. Now we're going to go 3 wide here as cars are trying to make a move. You see, there comes Parsons back down. Oh, man, we're going to get a little tight here going into that turn.
Oh, boy. They are not given much room. Yes, there is plenty of space, but you want to stay as low as possible. And, oh, man, these guys just staying right on top of one another as they are driving through one another. As you can see, they're so close to one another that they are just really pushing and shoving, trying to maximize their trucks. But there is also a drawback to that. You've got to be careful of your temps, as for these engines, if your temp gets too high, you could be blowing your engine and having to take a tow to pit lane.
As that's one thing. If you push too hard too early, you see, look at the mid to back pack. They're spread out from this front group, as they're not pushing, they're not having partners, but they're keeping their engine temps calm, cool, collected, as they'll wait to take their advantage here, as these guys up front have to be careful. You see them starting to drift back away from each other, as now that drafting is starting to cool off here so they don't overheat it.
Yeah, and when you're seeing these trucks really bob and weave and try to, not stay in line perfectly, that's when they're searching for air, trying to get air into their engines. And, also with the bobbling that we're seeing, it's looking like drivers, they're trying to stay in line in some fashion, but other guys are starting to see a potential of trying to take a position away if you leave an opening. And that outside groove, they keep on bobbing up periodically, which gives people the idea of, I'm just going to shoot it right down the middle if I've got the momentum. And you see it there. There's just enough room for a truck to go through the middle, as Cox feels comfortable, comes down to the inside, and what a clean pass that was for the lead.
As you see the passing, and you busted jokes about me being a dirt guy. I'm just waiting for one of these guys to come in a little too hot and throw one of those famed sliders. You see it here, especially on a big track. These guys will slide up in front of someone into a turn and cut their nose off, and I'm waiting for it to happen because with the outside run starting to happen, you can see somebody get ready to cut them off.
Oh boy, also if you hit the truck at the wrong quarter panel, you hit them a little bit too far to the left, a little bit too far to the right, you could be finding yourself spinning them around as we're going to be going 3 wide once again. I'm surprised they're feeling, secure enough to go 3 wide once again, but again, it's that opportunity. They're trying to make a run here. So we're on board with 15, and there they go, up front, spinning once again. We stay green. That driver that got spun around, that's going to be the 24, I believe. Had to take it so into pit lane. Oh, man, these drivers, you hate to see that, and we stay green due to the fact that the car was shot to the apron. No caution comes out. We stay green.
As we see now, we're green and look up front. Everyone's in that middle line now. We're going to drop down to the bottom. Now we're going to have back the 2 lines, but the drafting partners are getting ready to come back with each other here. As you see 4 cars all drop down to the bottom at the same time. So that drafting still a factor, but with that wreck, here comes that mid-pack now.
Yeah, I mean, another factor that, you throw in is that second pack. They are all staying in one lane, which is making them be able to catch our leaders so quickly. As this front pack, they are still side by side. They're not as in line, not as compact as they possibly could be. They're losing a little bit of ground, but here comes that second pack. They've got some speed, and they're looking quick, trying to catch up to our leaders.
As now we're closing in, lap 15, lap 16. It's time. They're going to start thinking ahead. If we keep this green, when are we going to pit? And if they got teammates and they're pushing each other, it's going to be one of those. You don't want to pit by yourself too early or too late, because there goes your draft partners, and there possibly might go your race.
Yeah, and we're seeing the split off. I mean, we've got our, right now, front pack of 13 drivers. And then you go back to 14th place, and those guys are about 6, almost 7 seconds back, and just losing time to the leaders. Yes, they are in line, as you can see here, but they are not gaining much as they are going to be scattering out because the car went onto the apron. That is dangerous and not where you want to be.
Yeah, these cars got to keep it in a straight line, as it's really hard to keep it, especially once you get up there and you see that oil temp start and rise. What are you going to do when there's a car right behind you on your back bumper? You can't let off too much, or you have a chance of spinning out the guy who's been helping you all race. And one of these tracks, it's not good to make a rival out of somebody who's been helping you up front.
As we're on board with the 17, trying to give a bump to our leader, and that's when we talk about quarter panel bumps. You got to be careful not to get too close to a quarter panel if you're going to bump them, or you could be sending somebody around, as they are still side by side here up front. But I mean, credit to the 44 for being up front, getting to the lead. Yes, there was scrambling after seeing one of our front runners being removed and spun around, but we saw Raman being and took the decision to drop low and go to the back early in this race, and now he's leading the charge.
Yeah, as we've seen now, we're going to try and make rewind once more here as the pushes are starting to come. Here comes Hunter Parsons. He's in that middle line. We saw him run in the middle before on that one restart, and he got the push. Now he's coming up here. He's in third, and again, he is another car. Started outside the top 10, makes his run. You got cars who started 27th through 29th even, who are in the top 10 making a push towards the front.
Yeah, I mean, these guys certainly being racy, excited to see how they're going. And this is just, they're keeping it clean now, easily giving swaps and room. But whenever they go 3 wide, it's just, I know my heart starts racing because we saw that early wreck on lap 4. They got 3 wide, got a little too antsy, and almost it took out half of the front pack. Had to come in, get some repairs done, and Now they're lingering back, hoping for a caution because of these multiple packs that we've been seeing. That second pack I was talking about back in 14th place, it's grown, it's gotten bigger, but they're still losing time because they're not staying in line as our leaders up front. You're seeing them, yes, they're shuffling, but at least the inside lane, they are staying pretty compact with one another and kind of being the main engine to pull this group around.
And that inside lane is one of the easiest ways around this racetrack. You might find a quicker way if you can find draft partners. That middle line it showed is quick. That top line even is quick. But if you cannot keep it straight and keep it in line with each other, it's not going to help you there. As that bottom line, it's so simple. Keep it glued to that yellow line as we saw in qualifying, and it could push you right to the front.
Drivers still bouncing around off of one another. Charles, what are you seeing that's feeling comfortable about this race? Because it seems like they're keeping it pretty neat right now. But do you see this going green with how they've been racing?
Yeah, you know, when I come into a race like Talladega or Daytona, you say nice and clean, and you know, there is nothing tidy about this right now. This is what me and Alex would refer to as sprint car racing. It's controlled chaos. These guys are on the edge of their seat right now. They're just sitting here waiting for that moment to make their move or avoid the big one, and whichever comes first. And trust me, one of them will happen. It will either be their move to go to the front or the big one gonna happen, and they have to be on edge for both of those, and occasionally it could be their move that causes the big one.
As you're talking about moves up front, they're still 3 wide, and even it, I think controlled chaos is the best phrasing, like you said, for this. It is utter chaos, and also just a lot of momentum. These drivers that are up front, our front two, they are full throttle. They are slamming the gas pedal down, trying to go as fast as possible. Everyone else behind them, some of them are going full throttle a bit, letting off into the corners, trying not to run over some of the trucks in front of them. As we're seeing lap cars getting out of the way, staying high, and letting our leaders go low.
And the good thing is, what Charles said, dirt. When it comes to sprint car race and control chaos, that's what will help Hunter Parsons, because he's more well-rounded dirt guy, and he's run it more than he has these asphalt cars. So when it comes to something like that, I give him the advantage here. We talked about who was the early favorites through practice and qualifying, but now control chaos, I think he has the advantage because he's seen it a lot more than some of these other drivers.
And Hunter going to be up to the front, and good to see the 00. He's been able to get the internet situated and no longer blinking, and now has the comfortable and confidence to be running up front. Parsons really showing strong, but it looks like drivers in the back half might have been almost running everyone over, it sounded like. Hearing drivers screaming, "Check it up," as it looks like drivers in the second pack might have been getting a little bit out of shape.
So, up front we're getting a little bit there too, as it looked like a little draft might have gone wrong there, because now we're going to go 3 wide here again, as that outside line is going to drop back, because now he doesn't have the push to get up there. So now Chris Stamper, he's in the second spot, but he's getting the push in that middle line to take advantage over the 00 of Hunter Parsons.
And it's going to be Rahman going to be dropping back to the 44 machine. Parson trying his best, but leading the charge is the 8. Stamper going to be doing a great job. Chris Stamper in the 8 machine leading the way. But that we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers pushing back and forth, trying to be up front. And, for these front runners, there is cash on the line. Drivers that lead the most laps, driver that leads the most lap gets $50. But yes, there's money for the drivers, but also we're here to try to help fundraise as the flood really hit hard in the eastern Kentucky region, and trying to help is what this race is for. And it is awesome to see how we've been trying to help, especially with Team 606, trying to help the best that they can to help that community in Kentucky.
And you said it there, 2021 has hit hard already, the winter storms, and now we hit right back here with the floods. So it's good for, the racing community, the iRacing community, to help out, raise some money for these people in Kentucky and them that they need the help that they can get here with, because again, you never know what you can get, as we've seen the past few years. You can get thrown a curveball anytime now.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people not expecting a lot of things that have been happening, but you keep on trying to help with one another and you keep going. As right now, still staying side by side is up front. And I talked about if we went on a longer green flag run, when will we start to see drivers thinking about pitting here? It's looking like a lot of these drivers not really giving any signals of pit lane is coming soon, just because when pit road is about to get chaotic and crazy, we see a lot of these drivers all running to the inside.
As you saw, Hunter Parsons, he dropped back there. He was up front. Now, Chris Stamper's up front still. He started 27th. So think about that, 27th to 1st. Just had to avoid the chaos, keep his nose clean. And guess what? You got guided to the front with some teammate help, some unnatural help too, with, you never know who you can get help with at these big tracks. And you may never race with some of these guys before, but they're willing to give you a helping hand here just to get themselves up front as well.
Yeah, and other drivers that are up here, I mean, you got Justin Bentley, who's in the 16 truck in 5th place, battling strong. I mean, that's another one of those drivers that started further back in the field, up to 6th place at the moment. Man, that outside lane, they certainly they got to be careful racing like that. You saw going through 1 and 2, a little bit of a squeeze on the inside lane, and that's dangerous on the fact that the inside lane, yes, it's the quickest. Yes, we saw the drivers running and almost sticking to that yellow line during qualifying. But here, when the draft is running, when the wind is really pushing these cars, it's sometimes difficult to hold your lane as steady as you can. And if you're getting squeezed from up high, a little bit of a nudge up can push someone into the outside wall or be spinning someone around.
And to keep an eye on, look at the mid-pack there. Brian Andrick, he didn't put a qualifying time down. He started 36th. He's up to 13th right now. Carl Hendrick, he's back up into 12th. He was in that first chaotic big one, and I see contact. Car spinning around, and there it is. There is our second caution.
Yeah, there goes the yellow flag, and they're still collecting with one another. And once again, it's the carnage up front that brings out our yellow here. And man, as here's our LSRTV 4K Ultra HD replay of what happened here. As up front, we were talking about how the drivers in the back, they had space to try to stay steady, but it was the cars running in the middle of the pack on the outside, getting turned and spun around.
As we knew it was going to come. You saw, that middle line squeezing the bottom, bumping and everything else. You knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. But through this caution, I think you're going to see some pit stops getting ready to happen.
And here they come. I mean, they're going through 1 and 2 and just, right on the rear left quarter panel. That spot where you just don't want to hit another truck. And, man. Hate the carnage like that, but at least you got fast repairs, as all these drivers started out with 2 fast repairs, which technically means you got 2 trucks and the waiting in pit road. That is going to be our 3rd caution of the day. Charles, it's up to you. What are we doing here? I mean, are we going to pit? Because it looks like that we're coming close to the green flag pit stops.
It's a very good question here. I don't think we're going to. I'm not sure what their fuel and mileage is. This was a last-minute event, so not quite sure what fuel mileage is for these guys, how much fuel they have in the tank, whether it's 50, 75, 100%. Based on what we're seeing so far, 28 laps in, I'm guessing they have a little bit of fuel in the tank as our leader is going to go in. But we got a couple coming down, so it looks like their predictions are coming down pit road. So we'll see just how many do come down, and it looks like all of them are.
The train follows suit as they all come into pit lane, and this is where you can gain time or lose a lot of time. And some drivers might be thinking, I'll just stay in my pit box and let everyone else go on by. Others thinking, I need to get up there as quick as possible. Don't get caught speeding. Black flag could certainly hurt these drivers as we're getting close to the halfway marker of this race. Wow, it's been a doozy of a one. It has been fun as drivers getting back out there on course. We did have drivers that did not pit, actually, as believe our front 3 did not pit.
Up.
Well, we forgot to do this, guys, so we're going to do it real quick here. Alex, Sam, real quick before we take a quick commercial break. Your picks. Who you think's got the shot to win right now?
Ooh, I think I'm going to go with Clint Cox on this one. I think that 17 truck has been looking really good and setting himself up to be in a great position to win this race.
I'm going to go 00. I got to stick with the dirt guy. I go Hunter Parsons. He's looked strong throughout here. I go with him coming back up through the pack and winning this race.
All right, well, there you have it, your picks. I'll let you know my pick when we come back after a quick commercial break here as we pay the bills.
Tree Timber, developed to own the flyway, has taken the hunting world by storm.
Work like a champ.
Hunters are finding that the versatility of timber works no matter what game you chase.
Hot dog, look at this. Right there.
Whichever game you pursue, timber has you concealed.
There's timber in this hardwood bottom. Looks great. Unbelievable.
Real Tree Timber. Own the outdoors.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to LSRTV for the Flood Relief 75. Lights are off. Here is I am your host, Charles Wheaton, sitting in the tower, and down, of course, track side is Sam and Alex. Sam, Alex, we're going to hand it back to you as we're just about ready for the restart.
Alex, terrible news for all the drivers who were watching under that commercial. There was another pack of about 8 drivers that decided to come into pit road, and they all got black flags. Pit lane was closed when they came in. They were trying to do a strategy of beat pit on the 1 to go, so then you've got a chance to start in the back, but the penalty system dinging those cars hard.
So yeah, a lot of cars that didn't go out. So you saw, the cars up front that mid-pack did not pit, thinking, oh, I'll be smart here, get another lap out of gas, another lap out of tires. But it ends up giving you a black flag. But you see back up front now, Chris Stamper, Clint Cox, Hunter Parsons, they pretty much stayed in the same order after that first pit stop.
Yeah, not much of shuffling really went on with pit stops for those drivers. Looking at some of the other guys, though, that were up front, that were drivers that I was like, oh, they should be up here. Thought maybe we would be seeing, John Cox up front more. He's just been kind of in wait mode right now for the Ford machine in around 7th position as pace truck's about to pull off and the long wait of going through the tri-oval.
So the long wait because they go on that green flag. So it's one of those you got to wait. Patience. You can't go before the guy in front of you goes, because if somebody gets impatient, well, we'll have a cleanup on the front straightaway here. But we're back underway here. Lap 31.
That green back underway as green flag's out in the air. The 8 machine going to be leading that charge up front. And now we're going to be seeing how well can Stamper hold off, and can the inside lane really protect from everyone else that's going to be making those charges.
Now, here's a question for you because you have more experience on this asphalt. If you go on that green on that last pit stop, do you go with the full tank, half a tank, and then probably just game plan and hopefully fuel save? Or what's going to be the plan throughout the rest of this?
Well, based on how the drivers were reacting here, I think they might be good to make it to the end possibly here. It's going to be a close one. They could be about 3 laps short, but if you're staying in the draft, you should be good to make it. As Hunter Parsons able to make the pass and going to be on the mid lane and trying to make his charge up to the front as they still stay 3 wide.
So now you see that middle lane. Again, that middle lane looks quick as, oh man, mid-pack, we're getting a little dangerous there and bobbing and weaving here. So again, you got to stay straight. If you're going to you're killing momentum here, as you see now, Hunter Parsons goes to that bottom line because he knows that's where everyone's staying the cleanest so far. The middle line, top line, that is a place where if you feel confident, you can go, but I make zero promises that you're going to have any draft partners up there.
So just getting word that it's going to be around 33 laps of fuel these drivers can go. So they're going to be short. They're going to be around about 8 laps short to make it to the end of this race. So they're going to have to pit at least one more time. And most likely we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers going with maybe just a gallon to a gallon and a half, trying to not fully fill up their cars. And it should be enough for them to make it to the end.
And now, what's the smart move here? Do you go with fresh tires, especially if another caution comes out? Do you go with fresh tires when that pit stop comes, or you just go with gas and hope and pray that those tires get you through the rest of this race?
If it's a caution, you take tires. There's unlimited tires. There's no limit on that. But if you're going to be pitting under green, you might think about only taking about 2 tires, maybe no tires. I mean, we're here at the Super Speedway Racing Talladega. There's not much worry on how the tire wear is going to be. Tire wear has never been really the biggest issue, but it does help when you have grip to really make some aggressive moves and feel like your car is going to stick. As we're watching the 57 getting a huge bump here, trying to get up front as leading that outside lane.
And you see, though, Hunter Parsons was playing it smart. He was cutting whoever's air off there. He was cutting off the 8 car there. Then he went up and cut Chris Stamper off. So he was cutting off noses there, cutting off the airflow and just keeping his run. But now you see he didn't move up quick enough, so now that middle line's getting a run once more.
Yeah, the middle line's feeling comfortable right now, trying to make a run. Oh no! Putting a nose where you thought there was a hole, and contact going to be made, but we stay green, able to hold on. That was a potential of another big one in this front pack, and that's just sticking your nose where you think a hole is. And I was talking about that, how cars are bobbling up, coming back down into their lanes. A hole was there, but it closed very quickly.
And again, we've seen it. Every caution so far tonight has come from the front pack. Everyone thinking they got to be feisty, got to compete. Okay, there's money on the line for the most lead laps, but guess what? There's money on the lines for the win. Which would you rather do now? Would you rather cause chaos, go to the back because you have a damaged car, have to fight your way up front, or keep it clean, keep it green, and go for the move later on tonight?
I mean, you got to be thinking on keeping it clean as much as possible, but if you any type of damage here to Super Speedway race, aero-wise, it is going to be hurting you so much. If you got nose issues, you're not going to be the best car to be really leading a group. If you got any side issues, you truly don't want to be a car being pushed, but you certainly could be pushing someone. But this is going to be an interesting run for these drivers, still side by side. And you know the aggression level is going to be raised even to another level for sure, just because of how much these drivers have to be worrying as they're wrecking and they're off course. Yellow flag.
As here goes another big one, as a lot of mid-pack drivers got cleaned up in that one.
We're getting our LSRTV 4K Ultra HD replay once again for another caution for these guys. Oh man, tried to go 3-4 wide and it just shuffled cars around and they're bouncing all over the place in front of them. Those cars already spinning around. Man, they just were trying to get so aggressive here coming into corner number 1.
Right.
The 4 car, and oh man. I mean, it looks like a little bit of netcode. The one gets shuffled, and then in the middle pack, they were still trying to figure out where cars were going to be placed. Is everyone being displaced on where they were at initially? And Alex, that's just super speedway racing. One little shimmy of a bumping someone out of the way just causes that chain reaction of all the cars behind him.
And didn't I like for a scolding session there of be smart? Didn't I just like went over a little rant there of be smart, don't do anything stupid, and then all we see is, oh, let's try and fight our way out front and let's have some more chaos.
Let's send it. Let's fully send it and see who's going to survive this thing. As right now, cars getting into the pits, some of them getting out of the pits. We started this race off with 38 drivers. We currently have 25 on the lead lap, soon to be, I believe, 24. It looks like Logan Russell going to be put a lap down, still trying to get repairs done for the 15 machine. And here comes the field into pit lane. And this is showing me that these drivers know they need fuel if they're going to be making it to the end of this race. And the timing of this caution, I think they might be good. It's going to be right on the edge, though.
So here's the thing. This is going to be one of those, are you smart enough to stay out there and hope and pray you have another caution? Or, as you see most of the field is, they're going in and doing the smarter thing of going in now. Me being the crazy person I am, I'd stay out there and just hope and pray for another caution, because if it's anything like the first few, somebody's going to get antsy here tonight and try and get up front. And that might open the door for you to go into the pits here. But this is going to put Eric Lee, because he stayed out there, he's going to be up front now.
If Eric Lee's going to go with that strategy, hoping for another caution and hoping that he's not the reason for it, as this is going to be a chaotic race. But this is the Flood Relief 75 here at Talladega, and a big thanks to Team 606 iRacing for putting on this event, trying to help out with the funds to help with the Lee County search and rescue in response of the historic flooding that has happened on the eastern side of Kentucky. Major damage has happened to a lot of towns, businesses, and people's lives completely changed by this. And as you see on the screen, information on how to donate and help, as this is just a disaster, but we've all come together here on iRacing trying to help with this fund and trying to help those that were affected.
As again, the iRacing community has shown it here tonight, especially with how many cars that this community bands together for anything and everything, as we've seen it throughout the past year. This community is strong no matter what. They will help everyone and anyone that they can.
Oh yeah, it is always incredible to see how everyone just bands together whenever disasters or anything pops up. I mean, we've really seen it in the past year of people trying to come together in different aspects of fundraising for those in need and those that are needing so much help with all the chaos that's been going around. Alex, trucks look like they're about to get stacked up here. Going to be going green once again. It's gonna be a dicey one. I don't think we're done with cautions, especially since things just ramp up from here on drivers understanding if you want to lead the most laps, you got to get up front now if you want to get that cash prize, and if you want to win the race, you got to be up front if you want to win it.
As I'm waiting for a haymaker. I'm just excited because I know it's going to happen. Somebody is going to drive into a turn hard enough that they're going to throw a haymaker and slide up the top of the racetrack here. And Hunter Parsons asked over the radio during that pit stop, is there green-white checkered? Because if there's a green-white checkered, that's the opportunity that I can see a dogfight to the finish line.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Green-white checker would certainly change things up, and the potential of multiple attempts at a green-white checker, that could also be another factor that changes things. But we got ourselves a 36 and the 12 up front, and both those drivers trying something different, as Hunter Parsons, as well as the other drivers we were seeing up front, they are back in 5th, 6th, and further on back. A little bit of a shuffling of our top 5.
When one thing you had Eric Lee, I don't think Philip Angel, I don't think Eddie. I don't think any of them pitted. So they stay your top three right there. And I think those are the same three cars. No, sorry, Eddie and Philip both on that last pit stop. They were two cars that went in on the second time around thinking they could outsmart people, got the black flag. So this time they're like, okay, we're not going to stay out. We're going to hope and pray, fingers crossed, we get another caution, then we'll go in and we'll have the freshest tires to get a chance at this win.
Track position so important here in super speedway racing. To be up front leading a lane gives you so much power on how you're going to be reacting to other drivers around you. Are you going to be blocking or just staying put? As the drivers in the back, they've got chances too, but they've really the drivers that feel aggressive, they'll be on that outside lane. Drivers that want to stay passive and just hoping that other machines are going to be costing themselves positions, they'll stay low. As the pace truck pulls off, we're here in the trial, the waiting, the anticipation of when we'll go green once again. Here for the flood relief 75. This is going to be a fun one. Eric Lee going to be leading the inside row. Going to be trying to get a charge. Eddie going to be on the outside of the 12 truck. As green flag back in the air. As we'll see, can we go green to the end, or will we see another caution from drivers getting a little bit too aggressive?
And as you see, the two lines already as mid-pack starting to drift back, as I don't think some of them didn't get the start, maybe missed a shift, missed something, because they started dropping back right as soon as we hit the green flag. Or was it a strategy thing? Let's go find my partners back up here, as a lot of those cars who were up front when they were running up front, they're now in the back. So let's drop back, find our partners. Let's make a run to the front with each other, as it was one of those, it could have looked like some strategy, as we're going to go 3 wide already.
Yeah, they're already 3 wide and not really giving a care, trying to move as much as they can, as that's going to be the 44 trying to catch up to the Monster Energy drink machine, and they're trying to make that push, but it's looking like the inside lane, those two trucks, they are pushing one another and not really caring about the rest of the field as they continue to pull away.
As those front two have looked strong, that is Eddie and Eric Lee. Those two, as soon as that green flag dropped, you saw them. They dropped to each other, and they thought, okay, we both made it up front here, leaning on each other. Let's do it some more. But Hunter Parsons, he's been up front since the almost, that first caution. He's been up front ever since. But right now, he needs to find some partners, because here comes that outside line, and that outside line has got a strong push right past the leaders.
Yeah, they got 3 in line, all stacked on with one another and able to make that third lane move. And now they're going to be dropping all the way to the bottom. Helton got it done. Matt Helton in the 38 machine up 29 positions. And we're seeing those drivers that didn't have the best qualifying run. They're getting out of shape, though. There goes the 12 off track, but able to secure it. And luckily able to stay on track. A little bit of dirt track racing there.
Oh man, I love it. As I love it here, There's nothing wrong with bumping. There's never anything wrong with bumping. As long as everyone can save it. As long as everyone can save it. Dale said rubbin's racing, but again, it comes down to, everyone wants to say that here on iRacing, rubbin's racing, but you got to be smart about it, because you don't want to take someone out, because that's not rubbin. That's just hitting someone blatant as day. That's not rubbing, that's wrecking. That's right.
Hey, sometimes you got to make a move to get up front and win a race. So we'll see how things go. Hunter Parsons once again back up front and pulling along the 57. Both those machines have been up front most of this race, and not surprised to see them being the cars pushing everyone along.
Hunter Parsons has looked impressive. Matt Hilton started in 30th. Again, not a good qualifying time. He is up front there, but you have a lot of cars who have started in the back, didn't qualify. They're starting to climb up here into the top 10. Philip Angel, he started up front on that last restart. He has dropped all the way back into 9th. As you remember, he got shuffled to that top side, and that put him way back.
Yeah, I mean, drivers going to be certainly making their moves, but what's crazy and heard is some of these drivers up front. They're starting to get a little antsy. Hunter actually got warned if he tried to block like he just did a couple laps ago, he could be finding himself being spun around. So drivers not concerned. There's no points. It's just money and cash that's on the line for the drivers that are racing. So they're just willing to do anything they can to get up front and win this race.
And it shows here tonight. Remember, we said that it's usually short track racing that tempers flare really quick. Bristol, Richmond, all those different tracks. That's where tempers flare. You don't see it as much on the big tracks. But now, because Hunter Parsons has been playing the strategy game, and now you see people are getting irritated because he's out-strategized them so far here of cutting everyone's air off as he's taking advantage of everyone's draft and hopping up in front.
Yeah, we were just on board with Stephen Page, and I was just going to bring up, Page has just been waiting. This one machine has not been concerned about trying to make any bold moves, just has been staying around the top 5, top 10 all race long, and not really putting any shine on showing, hey, you don't got to worry about me making any bold moves. But that third lane, here they come. They're going to be 3 wide, 3 cars deep.
And now we're back to this 3-wide racing here. We saw it a few times. Once or twice it's been good. Another few times it's been costly for some drivers. So can we keep it mean and green here up front? As look at that push again for the middle row. As that middle line looks like it's the place to be, as that then they go and drop down to the bottom side. As that, again, it's the more comfortable line for drivers here on the super speedway is right there against that yellow line.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting help from both lanes, side drafting wise, and also you're trying to really get the most space to try to carry your momentum and utilize the draft to its fullest potential in the middle. You've been seeing the outside and inside stalling out at times, but the inside lane is where you want to be if you want to lead this race. Still 3 wide, and I'm getting concerned. This is looking mighty, familiar to some of the other wrecks we've seen already tonight.
And as you see, a lot of cars getting a little swervy there, especially the middle line as, oh man, you see contact, and here it comes. There they go.
Oh boy, you knew it was coming, and away they go. More cars getting collected in, the 4, the other, they're flipping over. And there is not much you can do in that scenario. The 24 you saw there was flipping of Dustin Adams. Oh man, this is now rough, as here's another LSRTV 4K Ultra HD replay of this carnage on the backstretch. They just, so many cars jumbled up. You saw them bouncing all over the place. And some trucks felt like getting on the brakes. Others could not slow down in what I like to call ARCA brakes we were seeing. Also drivers not really holding their brakes at times. They just kept on wrecking all over the place.
That was chaos. That was
Going on board with the 22.
Oh man, now we're gonna go on board here, as we're gonna see it from a driver's point.
On board with the 24, and just see smoke and whoop, get spun around and up in the catch fence and do a barrel roll. Is the 24 able to get on all 4? And it might be scuffed, but still drivable.
But now, the costly thing for drivers here, especially if you use your 2 fast repairs, you're done. You're going to have to go with whatever damage you have, because if not, you're done. I'm sorry to break it to you. There's no possible way if you didn't use your fast repairs. And this is where you got to be smart here, because some of them, they didn't have to use them early on. Maybe a scuff or 2. It took 5 seconds, take the hammer, banging out. They're back on the track.
It's 29 to go. I think we're inside that fuel window for these drivers. So if you see drivers coming in, they feel like this should be the point that they should be able to make it in. And it looks like third on back all coming in. The 57 and the 1, they decided to stay out, which that's an interesting call on their part. But I mean, we all know caution's probably still going to be looming.
And we saw it, you said it even, drivers were getting upset with Hunter Parsons, and there's some of the drivers that were right behind him that have felt the pain of his strategy tonight. Now he's in the pits. He's probably going to get, the fresh tires, because I feel like if you're going in the pits now, it's not going to cost you to get fresh tires here, especially when you have a lot of cars who stayed out, who didn't get fresh tires even the last time they were in. So they're on. old tires here. So that fresh tires for Hunter Parsons and everyone else who went in, if they got the fresh tires, it's going to help them a huge amount later on in this race.
Yeah, I mean, tires are certainly going to be something that we're going to keep our eyes on, but really not the primary focus. Fuel, I think that is for our front two, at least for the 57 and the 1. If we stay green, they are on the edge of not making it to the end. For everyone else, they are good to go. Based on the fuel runs that we were given, they are good. And we'll, since we're under caution, we'll take a quick break here. We'll go on a commercial break, and we'll be back for the rest of the action here for the Flood Relief 75.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to an exciting race for sure. Here for the Flood Relief 75, as it's been a good one. And again, just a quick update from up here in the tower. Everything looking good, as well. We'll give the Alex and Sam a little bit of a break here. Again, we currently have 28, so make it 27 laps go. Going to be 26 when we take the green. Again, nice and cozy here in the tower. Not sure at how it is down on trackside, but we'll find out here what the weather's like as we head down to Alex and Sam. Sam, Alex, how's it going on there today?
I mean, it's been interesting watching these drivers racing around, but it has been beaming on this course. As we'll take a look at our weather of what it's been looking like for these drivers. It is smoking hot on the track. I mean, Alex, that is one of the hottest surfaces that we're going to be seeing. You can cook an egg out there.
Has 109 degrees, you know. I've seen it. When you go out to Vegas, the feel like sometimes is 115, and you don't want it to be any hotter. So imagine just touching that surface with your bare hand. You're going to burn yourself. So again, it's hot.
Thank you, Sawblade.com, for giving us our temperatures. And, you know, you saw that it wasn't extremely hot outside temp. The ambient temp, 79 degrees. And so it wasn't extremely hot, but that track temp, with how many cars we've been seeing racing around this course and just the sun beaming on it, not very many clouds coming over, meaning that we're going to be just seeing this track get hotter and hotter. And with the track being as hot as it is, that's kind of also another factor that we've been seeing on why the cars have been shuffling and sliding around as much as they have been through these corners.
As again, you know, it shows it here, the shuffling, like you said, and it's going to be one of those, who can keep it the straightest? Because now, can you go green to checkered here? Will we have another big one? And especially, you know, at least more than half the cars on this field have been through one. So it's going to be, like we said earlier before the break, how many quick repairs do you have, if you have any? How much damage will you have if we have another caution? Because if you have major damage, you're going to have to fight through that damage for the rest of this race.
Yeah, a lot of those drivers going to be fighting for that, and they're going to be in the back half of the field as we are getting ready to go green once again. Our top five, it's going to be Jay Dargett, who's going to be in the 57, Stephen Page, as well as a new driver we have not seen in third place. That's going to be Brandenburg, who we have not seen. We'll see what the 77 has, as well as Parsons and No, going to be your top five. Alex, pace truck's off. We're going green once again. And really, the gloves are off at this point. You're past the halfway marker. It's time to see what you've got. As the trucks are getting revved up, that is a lot of space that we're seeing between our front four and the rest of the field. Green flag out in the air.
So green flag back out here. And again, look who's took the pit break, and he's still up front. Hunter Parsons went in the pits, and he was leading, went in the pits, and he's still in the top five. So he's one that you got to keep an eye on because he has the fresher tires. He's had the strategy throughout. But the 57 is one to keep your eye on. That's Jay Dargett. He started in 10th. He's up to front. Him and Stephen Page, they both kept quiet so far, and now those two are in the top three.
Yeah, they are making such a charge now. As Parson was trying to make that outside line work, but he just ran out of steam, needed some help. But here comes the rest of the field. As right now, everyone's staying single filed out at the moment. And right now, it's going to be our top 12 that are in this front pack. And then you go back a little bit further than that. That's when you start to see drivers in the second pack being led by the 5.
And it looks like somebody in that mid-pack actually dropped into pit road. So I don't know if he might have missed the pit stop there on the yellow flag, or if he thinks this was an opportune time to get the pit stop, because he dropped back and he went into pit road, and he almost caught a big hunk of chunks there, because he dropped in right in the middle of a pack, and that was almost bad news.
Yeah, that's going to be the 24, Jose Mende, who's going to be dropping all the way back to 24th place. Last car on the lead lap, back out on track, but on his lonesome.
And there it is. So again, we said if you're going to go to pit road, you might want to find someone to go on pit road with you, so at least you have somebody to help you out, try and get back up to the pack, because there's 5 cars on that inside pushing, and then you have 4 or 5 cars on the outside. You're going to have at least one buddy to help you catch up to that, at least even the middle pack there.
As we're all back to the second pack, they're starting to shuffle around. And some of the drivers that I had my eye circled on as favorites to win this thing, they're stuck in the second pack. They're about 2 seconds back from the first, being led by the 17 of Clay Coxon and also by the 5 of Dave Bell. They've got to really get in line. If they want to catch this front pack, all of the second group need to be in unison, get in line, and stay in a pack and just pull themselves along like a train. And they're staying side by side. They're doing the same exact thing as our leaders, but our leaders have more cars, and that's why they're pulling away.
And you look in that mid-pack, you have the guy who started on the pole. That's the 31 of Carl Handwerk. He is in 15th right now, but he is still in an opportune spot. Big one happens up front here, and I think you've noticed throughout the race that second pack that's dropped back, a second to 2 seconds behind, they stay and keep their nose clean because they have the reaction time to get out of the way of this big one that we've seen in that front pack.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a little bit of time to react, and for some of these drivers, it might be slamming on the brakes. Others, it's hope that they can find a hole if the big one happens in front of them. But I'm kind of just confused on why they're not getting in line. They're still staying 3 by 3. I mean, they're staying 3 wide back in the back half of this group, and that's just kind of being a parachute. That is bogging down this momentum that this group could have if they all just got in line. So overall hurting themselves as we're getting closer and closer to the end of this race.
And again, we said the top 3 get paid out, and then, a random car gets paid out. So unless you want to just beat these guys for bragging rights, get in the line, run the train around the bottom, and catch up to the pack. Then you can spread apart. But if you don't do that,
yellow flag
caution out.
And this is an odd place to have a caution, as trying to figure out where exactly this happened. There you see a car slow. Yeah, I mean, another caution coming out. It's kind of what these cars up front were expecting to see. So here's your replay. As that was some help entering turn number 1. Ooh, Jeffrey Ford gonna be spun here. You're gonna see these drivers staying close, going through the tri-oval, and then coming into 1 is where you'll see the contact being made, and honestly just looked like thought they were clear. We're not coming into this corner. Yeah, wasn't clear. Tried to fit in that hole. If Ford just let himself go a little bit further, he would have fit in that slot that he was trying to get into, just not able to get there.
So now we come back to the green flag. We'll be under 20 to go here. So now it's one of those, do you think you have enough gas to get through those 20 laps? Or for some of those cars who've stayed out the past 2 yellow flags, you're going to have to go in. It's going to be one of those, are you going to be smart enough to go in, or are you going to risk it? And it's, again, high risk, high reward, but also high risk of being the cause of something that you don't want to see.
I say first.
So right now, I think for sure we're going to be seeing our leader coming in, the 57 of Jay Dargert, who's going to be coming in for sure. Hasn't pitted since lap 37. And based off the window that we were given, I don't know if he can make it, and he's going to stay out. Ooh! Parsons comes in, and it looks like he is all on his lonesome. No one else following suit. Oh, strategy from the rest of the field, maybe? Oh, boy.
So is this going to be costly now? He's been up front throughout this whole race. This might be costly for that 0-0. Or, we said the leaders might come in. Daggert, Page, Lee, those guys haven't pitted since 2-3 cautions ago. They're cutting it close. Unless they're letting off the throttle and saving fuel, and you have to save a good margin of fuel, because if not, you are in trouble here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, luckily we're under caution, and we've had 2 cautions since the last time that Jay came in, so it gives him an opportunity to save fuel under these caution laps. And like you said, clutching it is the primary way under pacing to save fuel. And also another way to save fuel is stay in line following the driver and utilizing the draft to save fuel. If you're following someone, you don't have to go full throttle. The draft actually kind of pulls your car along. If you stay full throttle, you're going to run the car over that's in front of you. And that's when we start to see some bump drafting being utilized. But if you're leading, you are utilizing all of your fuel, cutting the wind, and being kind of the pierce to go through everything.
So, that mid-pack there who was running on their lonesome, just that mid-pack, and they were racing against each other hard. Are you going to have enough fuel? Because you've been fighting with each other that whole green flag run there. Up front, you had more draft partners that you could save some fuel. That mid-pack, it's going to be dangerous here for those front few cars that haven't pitted, that mid-pack that's been racing really hard with not enough draft partners to save fuel. So we could see a lot of cars maybe going on that last 10 laps going into the pits.
I mean, I'm looking at the last time they pitted, and the window we were given was around 33 laps they could go. And the last time all these drivers went in, they should be good by about 8 laps. The only 2 drivers that I'm nervous about, that's going to be our front 2 of Stephen Page as well as Dargert, who's going to be those 2 drivers that were the ones that still haven't pitted, but they are going to be right on the edge if they can make it. But they are going to get stacked up here, I believe. So we're waiting on that lights to go off on the pace truck. And as we're under this caution, do want to give a talk about what we are doing this race for, and that's for the flood relief and trying to help out those on the eastern side of Kentucky that were involved in the flood that happened over this past week, and it has been disastrous for so many people. Here's the information on how to donate, and we're trying to help all those that we can, and big credit to Team 606 iRacing that put this whole entire race and event on, trying to help those that are in need right now from this historic flooding, and also helping out the Lee County search and rescue in response to all of this chaos.
And it goes back, like we said, the iRacing community is strong, helping out their brethren. And again, this is just one big family here on the iRacing server. Everyone goes, oh, it's just a game. No, this is a family. No matter if you know each other or not, when somebody needs a helping hand, we come together, and we are a family no matter what.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can even see that once you're out there doing like official races. If you're doing an open set race, some drivers ask for a setup. Everyone's willing to help out the best that they can. The goal is, yes, be competitive, be on top of your game, but also just trying to help everyone else grow and become better drivers on iRacing, and trying to help those in real life as well as on the virtual side of things. Well, everyone's getting lined up and ready to go. Our top 5 drivers, that some of them, they've been up here for most of the race. I mean, the 57 of Dargert was one of those drivers. Page has been in the top 5 for most of this race. Eric Lee has been up front a couple of times. But Brandenburg has not really been up here. Rahman's been up a little bit, but no, we haven't really seen Tim No up front that often. But this is going to be a fun race, and figuring out how this finale is going to go, and also the question of, will we see a green-white checkered? With the way these guys are racing, most likely we will, as Pace Truck pulls off. Alex, do you think that we're going to get another quick caution, or do we go green?
We're going to go green, but knowing my luck and the curses that I carry on no matter where I am and whatever race I watch or race in, there's going to be a green-white checkered, because that's just how lucky we always are when I get to watch a race or do a race. So we'll find out here.
As they're already getting in line, and a very clean transition for our front three. Everyone else, though, from fourth on back, they're staying side by side, or a little bit of bumping going on around 16th place. And, you know, Alex, we talked about drivers that we had listed on who we think's going to win this race. I threw out Clint Cox as one of those drivers. You threw out Parsons. And the man that has not answered but said that he would back around caution number 2, and we've been waiting. Charles, who do you got to win this race possibly?
Yeah, I'm going with the underdog I saw early on in this race, and that is Andrew Chapman. That's who I'm going with, and the sole reason that I am going with him is, well, to be honest, he's got Monster on there, and I quite frequently like my energy drinks, so I'm going with him.
We've seen Chapman make some moves up to the high side periodically, so he's willing to be aggressive. That's a good pick there from Charles. Looking at your pick, though, Alex, he's all the way back in 17th place and soon to be trapped with that group that's in the second pack that is losing our front group.
Yeah, I think he cost himself right now going in and pitting. And, you know, I was looking, second broadcast here. The first one I picked the winner. And Wesley will still never let me forget that there was only 2 cars, but again, I beat him. But coming into this one, looking to go 2 for 2. He was up front all night. Now he's got to make a run down because he's already 2 seconds behind the leaders.
Yeah, he's going to be back, and he's going to be trying to pull that second group along. And it looks like they have caught the back end draft of our lead group, so they're not fully out of this race yet. Up front, though, Eric Lee trying to pull along the best that he can of that outside lane, and he's doing great so far. Just doing what needs to be done, trying to lead that outside group. Got a very fast machine of the 44 truck following behind, and that outside lane, this is probably the most organized we've seen it in a while, and looking quick as they're trying to pull that momentum into corner number 3.
And now here we go, because you see that middle pack is finally starting to gain. They cut it within a second here. So they're only a second behind the leaders here. That middle pack finally playing it smart, having drafting partners here playing it smart, trying to work with each other to get up into that top 10 spots so they can start battling. And I can see them rowing. Now that we're closing in on 15 to go here, I can see these cars going 3 wide.
Lee just getting shoved right now by the 44, and they are honestly trying to make that middle lane groove work. And you're starting to see the third lane starting to get some takers, trying to go on the outside, but there they go. We get our yellow, could not stay green. But I think that was probably our smallest wreck we've seen so far, as that could have been way worse.
Darn it, there was no big one there.
Certainly chaos. And Lee has to be frustrated. That's the second time that he has been caught up in something. Here's our LSRTV 4K Ultra HD replay. I mean, yeah, we were seeing the 44 Ramen just shoving Lee so much. And that's what happens when a car on the outside just bobbles a little bit to the outside, and away they go. But credit to the rest of the field, being able to avoid all of this mayhem, as they were 3 wide behind this group.
So now it opens the door. That mid-pack finally figured something out here as they closed in within a lap of a second on the leaders there. So, you know, they're closing in there, so that mid-pack and one person to keep your eye on. Parsons is there, but Carl Henwerk, who started and set quick time, he's in the 11th spot right now. He's going to be 1. Can he get back up to the front? He had the quickest car in qualifying. Track's a little different now. Cars are running a little smarter here. Can he get the partners to do it, to maybe go and pull off a miracle ending here after a tough start?
Yeah, I think that's the key, is find your friends and maybe work with some enemies. Everyone that's going to be in the back half of this field thinking, hey, we got to get up there. We are running out of time. The laps continue to tick away, and it has been a doozy of a race so far. But certainly a lot of excitement, a lot of sparks, and this was expected. All these drivers had 2 fast repairs to work with, which means if you take any damage, go into pit road, use a fast repair, it completely resets your car, keeps the tires on that you had before, but completely resets it. All your damage is gone, and you can do that 2 times. We've seen a lot of drivers already use most of their fast repairs already and have been taken out of the race, as that is, I believe, from 30th on back. All those drivers not able to continue out this race due to too much damage. But man, 2 fast repairs certainly has made things interesting because everyone's able to stay aggressive from the start of this race to the end of it.
And now, again, this caution could be helpful or could be costly because Jay Dargert, he's still up front. Stephen Page still up front there. And we said it before, those 2 haven't pitted. Their window is shrinking real quickly here of will they make it.
Well, Charles, we know that you've been up in the tower, getting a great view from your perspective. Most of this race, it has been chaotic, but what are some of your thoughts so far?
Yeah, it definitely has been a little chaotic. These guys out there, y'all hit the nail on the head earlier. You're talking about there's no points here. This is not long-term stuff we're talking about. This is, one and done, a one-off race for charity, but also for some money. And, we've done stuff here at LSRTV when we need to test camera packs and stuff like that. We'll go out and we'll put $5 to the fastest lap. That's just $5. You're talking $150 or more on the line here. So yes, it is gonna get crazy and chaotic on that track, and that's not to mention, y'all, it's Talladega. It's already chaos on the track most likely anyway. So you add money plus Talladega, it's going to get wild, and I have a feeling right now this is kind of the calm before the storm with 13 to go. It's going to be roughly about 10 to go when we get to the green flag again. Maybe about 5 to go, 3 to go. I have a feeling we're going to send this thing in the green-white checkered territory.
Most likely we will. Alex, it's gonna be a doozy of a one. It's been fun so far, though. Been able to see a lot of 3-wide racing, trucks feeling comfortable and confident. Do you think maybe we will see someone dare to go 4-wide? Because a couple of times we've seen it, it's caused an accident, but could someone possibly stick a 4-wide move?
Well, it's going to go back to what you said. Keep your friends close, your enemies closer, especially here in the draft. I can see someone who they've gotten into it early on tonight maybe sneak their way and make it 4-wide here, because again, first, second, and third get paid out. So you can find yourself your enemy from early on here who you didn't forgive for some crap they pulled, but guess what? At the end, if they push you to a win, you'll forgive all that's done, and they get some money out of it too. So you got to be smart here, but I can see the big move coming that's going to cause the biggest one we got, and I see still half this field's going to slice in half if we get the biggest one yet tonight.
Yeah, there's certainly a chance of it getting a lot more dicier as the trucks are about to hit the backstretch. And once again, we've been hitting it all night. We're going to continue to hit it. Please donate to help out with the flooding that has happened on the eastern Kentucky side, and it has been a historic flooding that a lot of people were not expecting, and it has taken out businesses, it has taken out complete cities. The footage and pictures are terrifying to look at times just because of how much damage there was from this flooding. Thank you to Team 606 iRacing for putting on this event, but please go out, donate, and help the best that you can for the flood relief here for Kentucky.
And again, I got to talk to some of my buddies who live down in Kentucky. Lucky enough for them, they've had some minor damage. They didn't get hit with the biggest ones, but they said it's going to be hard. Some of them have some older family that were hit harder. So now they have, 10, 15 people staying in one house because of how much damage is. So again, Kentucky was hit hard, and the iRacing community, even just the community around this country, they've bound together and help out each other when everyone's in need of a helping hand. Because, you know, we said it before, the curveball can happen and you could be the next one in need of help, and that it's lend a hand forward and it comes back to help you out.
Always trying to lend a hand and always trying to help those in need. Pace truck is off. We're entering the tri-oval, getting ready to go green. And oh, that's an interesting move. Paige, because there's no rule about when you can drop and change lanes, automatically drops down, which costed and made everyone else recognize, oh yeah, I could do that too.
That's now chaos. That was a chaos move because look at the gap that front group has from that mid-pack. That mid-pack has already dropped under, you know, over a half a second, even to a second back because of that start. So it looks smart for them, but here we go, the side-by-side, 2 cars getting pushed up front here. So again, 3 versus 2, but look, here comes the rest of that pack that you're like, hey, don't forget about me. We're going to go for that 3-car, 4-car push, and we're going to come back into this mix.
Yeah, those 2 trucks on the outside, that was the pick that both Charles had for Chapman and then myself with Cox. They were making that charge, but then they stalled out on the outside. Now they've been caught up by that second group, and now they're going to be swarmed and hoping for some help from other drivers as everyone's going to be pushing and shoving and almost carnage up front.
As man, oh man, this is where it comes down. Here's where it's not go big or go home just yet, but we're closing in, 10 to go. Here's where it's time. You got to keep those enemies close here, and you got to see who's going to help you get to the front. As you see, there is Carl Handwerk. He is in that 5th spot now. Keep your eye on him. He's looking for the redemption story of a lifetime here, going from the front, getting that early wreck, and coming back up to make it back into the top 5.
He's got to be careful, though. Chapman is not afraid of blocking. He's gone from the middle, low, all the way up to the high side, almost taking out there of other drivers. Got to be careful. But the man that was caught so far back, he's now up to the top 10, top 5. It's going to be Hunter Parsons who's now going to be cracking our top 5.
Hunter Parsons is sneaking his way up there slowly but surely. Keep your eye on him. That's my pick. As now you see your pick, Charles' pick, my pick. We're all there in that top 5. It's go big or go home now. As you see the drafting, the 3 wide starting to happen. 3 cars on the inside, 3 cars on the outside, and 4 cars in the middle. And yet those 3 cars, oh man, that bottom side going to get loose, and there we go.
Yeah, I saw it happening, but we stay green. The wreck happened below on the apron, so we don't have a caution that comes out. Green flag, his car's still scattering on the inside. It is incredible, but it's going to be your pole sitter already up to the front, and they're trying to be sneaky there and bring out a caution, not able to do so, but they're still they're side by side, 2 wide, trying to pull away, but it's going to be Kratman as well as Henrik that are still side by side leading the inside and outside lane.
And Handwerk, here he comes. That redemption story, he got his push. As now, look at this. We're 5 on the outside, 4 on the inside. Here's where the pushing, oh man, we're getting a little loose here. As that track's starting to heat up, you see 1 car trying to go to the middle. We're going to make this a little 3-line action here to finish off this race. But Chapman, Handwerk, Page, Andrews, Parsons, Everham has not been up there in the front at all this race. But now, after all that chaos, he is up there into the 6th spot.
This front pack being led and full of a lot of hungry drivers. 15 trucks all up here fighting for a chance to win this race as they are 2, 3 wide at times, and shuffled onto the apron is going to be Chapman, who's going to try to force his way back up into the groove and into the wall, and they're spinning behind in the back half of the field as we still stay green, and they're still running as another car goes around. And oh man, it's going to be the 94, I believe, as they're still 3 wide for the front. They spin once again, and this might bring out the caution. Cars flipping, and still no yellow. There it is.
Oh my goodness. There it is. Your big one has happened, and well, I think that one definitely might have wiped out half this field, so.
I mean, it took 3 wrecks for us to finally get there. And, you know, it was a little bit of trying to make a shuffle and a move, and then carnage in front and nowhere to go. Oh, man. What a hard lick. And, oh, my goodness, that's the 19 just going for a ride. Well, Everham, we talked about how he had not been up front really. He had his opportunity and got absolutely taken out there.
Oh, yeah, what a chaotic race. And now it's time to make it or break it. We're going to be under 5 to go here, as I think we'll actually hit the green-white checkered stage here to finish out this race. So we all talked about it, the green-white checkered. Will we see 3-wide racing? Will we go 4-wide? It's going to be a restart. The restart's key. Getting the push is key. And can you make a big money move to finish it off?
Yeah, I mean, someone's going to be making some type of ridiculous move here at the end. If that's forcing it 3-4 wide, you're going to be putting your nose where it really shouldn't be, which could cost you greatly on, thinking big picture. For some drivers, they might be thinking, hey, a top 3 finish, getting a little bit of cash, getting, the funds that I put in to get into the race and a little bit extra, and people are going to be hunting for that win. I am more than confident that we are going to be seeing a wreck on the final lap for these drivers if this thing doesn't end under yellow.
Hey, can we take a moment? Look at this. We still have cars hitting pit road here. And now, if for some of them, it's probably not going to be gas. It's going to be tires. But again, quick repairs. If you have them, you better use them if you have some damage. But it's going to come down here to the final few laps. Who is going to make the move? And look at Carl Handwerk. He's in second after having to do that whole ride back up in front. He is going to be the one to keep your eye on to see. He's had the quickest car. Can that car get the job done tonight?
Yeah, you saw there. It was all about fast repairs for a lot of these drivers. If you've got a fast repair, use it, get back out there. You want to have the car that is going to be the cleanest that it can possibly be to try to make that charge so you can carry the most amount of speed. But, oh, boy, you got Carl there that we're looking at in the 31 machine. Stamper, the 8, leading this charge. And you're going to be seeing this a lot of drivers. They might have a little bit of damage on their back wing and back end just because they've been hit so hard because everyone's been so aggressive at trying to make the big moves to get up front. Eric Andrews, a driver we haven't really talked about in the 9, in 4th place at this moment. I mean, drivers that have been waiting, who started in the back half of the field, understanding it was going to be a marathon to get up front and have a chance to win this race at the end. They're making their move now.
And now it comes down. I'm going to ask both of you here. Coming down to the final here, 5 laps, not even 5 laps anymore, for the win. What can you see happening here between these top 10 drivers?
Oh, man. Top 10, I don't expect it to be our same top 10 when we start this final restart, possibly. I don't expect them to be in the top 10. I think maybe 5 of our cars that are in the top 10 will stay in the top 10 at the end of this race.
I agree. I don't think we're going to see the same people that are in the top 10 right now in the top 10 when it's all said and done. Maybe a few of them, all of them. And that is very unlikely. I think the odds of hitting that are probably about as good as one of us winning the lottery tonight. That being said, I also wanted to point out that caution happened with more than 5 laps to go, which means we will take the green probably next time by. So it's going to be roughly 3 laps to go. However, this will be a natural green-white checkered. It will not be a green-white checkered thrown from the race officials because we have enough laps to try to get it in without actually having to use those. So essentially, we could see up to 3 green-white checkers because I believe they have 2 scheduled.
Oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Everyone's now going to be even more intense, especially with the fact that we got a total of 23 drivers still on the lead lap, still with the chance to win this race. You cannot count out anyone. If you are on the lead lap, you've got a chance to win this race. Seen a lot of drivers go back from about 20th place and win inside of green-white checkered, so it's possible, but lights are off. We're going this time by. Alex, what about you? What are some of your thoughts?
This is going to be the big one. You see how many cars are still on this track. This is going to be. I told you, half of this field will be not finishing this race because of the big one that is coming. There's going to be a big money move. But again, that big money move, it might be a big money to win you a few bucks, or it might be a big money if you're going to cost a lot of people a few bucks and they're not going to be happy with you. But that is what we're going to find out here after this green flag drops.
Well, this is the potential of being the final restart if we go green, so we're still going to shoot it out. Remember to please donate here for the flood relief 75. It has been a terrible time for the eastern Kentucky. A lot of damage has happened in these floods, historic floods that we've never seen before. And right now, this race, it was made so that we can help raise money for the Lee County search and rescue, as well as trying to help all those in need. So like you've been seeing all night long, please go donate. Try to help as much as you can and help those that are really in need. As the drive is coming out of 4, getting ready to go. It's going to be a crazy one. Money is on the line for these drivers. Top 3 get cash. Most laps led gets cash, and that's pretty much already decided. I'm pretty sure it was the 57 that's going to be getting that one. And then also, if you're on the lead lap, you got a chance to win $50. There we go. Pace truck is off, and we're going through the trial. It is exciting racing to be seen. It's for the flood. Ooh. And we are excited to help in any way possible. But these drivers, they're here to win a race. Green flag out in the air, and we'll see who's going to be winning it. Is it one of our drivers that's been up front all race long, or was it someone that was lingering back for this opportunity to win the race?
And here we go into turn 1 and 2. Parsons, Chapman, Handwork, Stamper. You've had guys that you see them, they're all start at different spots. Parsons started in 11th, Chapman 18th. Handwork, remember, he set quick time. And then you have Stamper, who started in 27th. Don't forget about Andrews. He started 34th. So look at that top 5. They've all started different spots in this field. And here we go. There's the 3-line racing. As you see that 8 car just going to get shuffled back in the middle line, as it's going to be one of those of here comes Parsons and his group of the bottom, and they're coming to the front.
Yeah, Parsons just going to be pushing that 18 truck, going to be just staying in line for now. If you're going to make the pass, make it on the back stretch. Most likely a lot of drivers are going to be setting up to make the pass on the front stretch through the trial. But it looks like Rahman got shoved out of the way and into pit road, and they're wrecking yellow flag before they got to the line.
There it is. There it is.
Well, you called it. The big one? Certainly. Oh, Mark brakes. Oh, no. Here's your LSRTV 4K Ultra HD replay to figure out what carnage happened here. As, oh boy, up front, they never had a chance.
Oh, just yikes. Cars going everywhere. Oh, man.
And the confidence in some of the drivers, just a full send it. Oh, man. With these cautions that come out, it's now putting a lot of pressure. But here we go. Our first attempt at a green-white checkered. We go again. As is our 1 out of 3 attempts for everyone here. Oh, man. Jeffrey Ford has now officially DNF'd in a lot of cars. That was their race in a nutshell. We are going to be running and losing a lot more cars moving forward, as we've already lost so many. It's just going to continue to fill with all the cars.
When I remember the Ballad of Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights, Lucius Aston, Talladega, are you ready for that one? Looks like some of these guys weren't expecting that big one.
No, not at all. And looks like drivers trying to get their lights are going to be staying on, trying to get everyone cycled in where they need to be. And certainly a crazy one. Charles, green-white checker time. I mean, it's go time now for all these guys.
Yeah, it's definitely go time. I think it was possibly go time back then. Some of these drivers, they might have thought it was go time, on that last restart. That could be why we saw the caution we see now. That being said, now you have a different group of drivers up here potentially that were in the back. It may be go time for them. We'll have to just kind of wait and see. This is one of those things. It's like playing chess. You can try to figure out your opponent as much as you can and try to strategize moves ahead, but at the end of the day, you don't know what that competitor's going to do, and you really just have to wait and see what they do to determine what your next move's going to be.
Yeah, it is a lot of picking and choosing at this point. I mean, it's been a longer race. 75 laps was the original count. We're going into overtime, and Alex, we've seen everyone. They have been on it since the start of the race. Aggression. I don't think we've seen any sense of peace of drivers just cruising. I mean, fatigue might be something these drivers are worrying about, and also just what else could they be worrying about if where they're running?
Well, and the greatest thing, remember I said about no matter if I race or call a race, I always get a green, white checker. I get a text message from one of my dear friends who's tuning in tonight. He texts me, he goes, doesn't matter who you broadcast for, you get a green, white checker, don't you? I go, yep. This is what I get no matter dirt, asphalt. Heck, I could call Pro 4s and I'll probably get a green, white checkered.
It's not a bad thing. It always adds a hint of drama to everyone here. We have 3 attempts at a green, white checkered. So here are basically the rundown for green, white checkered. So we've got ourselves, we go for the green, then you race around, try to get to the white flag. If we do not get to the white flag and there's a caution before we get to the line, then we will be going for another attempt. If the drivers cross the line, we get a white flag, then we race it. Next flag gives us the end of this race, either being a checkered or even being a yellow flag with all the wreckers. This is going to be a blast to see how these drivers are going to be reacting here, but this is all about the flood relief on how we're trying to help out the eastern side of Kentucky. They had a historic flood that ravaged through a lot of towns, hurting a lot of people, and do want to, again, please donate the best that you can, and we do have links for you to go, and you can personally donate for the Team 606 iRacing guys. They were the ones that put this event on, trying to help the community the best that they can with everything that's going on. Also, the money is going towards the Lee County Search and Rescue for all of those that are trying to help in the best ways that they can during all of this.
So here's one thing to think about. We started this race with 38 cars. We have 17 cars left on this lead lap. So we haven't had one big one. We haven't had 2 big ones. Heck, didn't even have 3 big ones. I think we had about 5. And it shows with the number of cars that have DNF'd because doesn't matter. One truck, standby truck, 2 standby trucks, doesn't matter. You've used them all.
Yeah, that is what's crazy, is that they've had 2 fast repairs to work with, which you talked about, our standby trucks in the waiting in pit road for these drivers to use, and they are gone. A lot of these guys don't have another fast repair to work with. Some of them do, but almost everyone has been involved in some type of incident and has used a fast repair for this moment right here. All of our picks, guys, they're still in the lead lap. They still have a chance. But right now, it's going to be Chapman and Parsons up front looking extremely strong. And then you've also got Hinton, who's going to be in 3rd place. Adams, who we haven't really seen that much. And then we've got our pole sitter of Carl in 5th place.
And again, so you look at just where these guys have started. Chapman starts 18th, Parsons 11th, Hinton 14th, Adams 35th, and then handwork on the pole. So just look at where these cars have climbed. Either, they've started up front and just stayed up front or had some problems, or for Adams, 35th to 4th. Just think about that run, and that's just one of those keep your nose clean. Think about what you got to do. Go in with your friends in the pits or your enemies again. Just do what's smart, and it's going to be one of those as we look here, as we're going to go, I don't know what we're doing as that green flag came out.
Green flag out in the air. Our first attempt at a green-white checkered here for the flood relief. 75 laps they were supposed to run, but we're now in overtime. It's going to be Chapman leading the way. Parsons going to be following suit, but they are going to be slicing and dicing. Here goes Parsons to the inside, trying to get Chapman, and they are going to be coming in roaring down the backstretch. If they get to the white flag, we race it to the end.
And as you see, there's Parsons now. These guys trying to bob and weave, trying to cut air off everyone else. But Parsons getting the run. Him and it looks like maybe Hinton up there. Let's see. Yeah, Hinton. Those two cars have climbed just about from the same spot. You've seen them push each other throughout this whole race. Now they are up front sitting 1 and 2. Will Hinton be content with pushing him to the win, or will he go for the big move? Guess what? White flag going to come out here. Are we going to finish this one under the green as these guys take the white flag?
Oh, are we going to make it? Are we going to make it to the white flag? White flag in the air, and it's our CRN1 to go, and they are all jumbled up and spinning as two cars go around. They're flipping. Who's going to make it through as we continue to look? Parsons made it, and he continues to try to chug away, but oh my goodness, everyone is just scattered and stuck.
As you see, four cars, 3 will get a payday here. As you see those two side by side going into 3 and 4. Hunter Parsons still out in front as it's Parsons, Cox, Curry, Andrick. Who is going to take this one home? You see them trying to make a move. There is Hunter Parsons going into the tri-oval, and the 0 contact for second now. And it looks like the 0 might have just secured that one with the contact, and it's going to look like it, and it's going to happen right now unless he can get a run on the bottom. But no, it looks like Hunter Parsons is going to win here at Talladega.
Alex, you're 2 for 2 on picks. Hunter Parsons gets it done. Cox tried to get that second place win, not able to, but a lot of bumping and grinding going on. Curry not able to get that third place finish and just misses out as Andrick's somehow 33 positions back, able to get third place and earning some cash here.
Oh my goodness. Can we just talk about that going into 1 and 2 on that white flag lap? Oh man, if Talladega didn't live up to the hype today, I don't know what will.
Yeah, I mean, they got to the white flag. It was really, the gloves were off. It was go time for everyone, and we had those two cars spinning on the entry of corner number 1. I didn't think that Parsons or anyone else was going to make it just on the angle that the cars were spinning, but somehow 4 of them were able to make it out, and they battled, beat and banged off one another. And you know, Hunter Parsons, that truck might not look the prettiest, but it got the job done in the 00, and he gets to burn it down here for the flood relief 75. And what a race it has been. There were a lot of cautions. You didn't know if we were going to get to another green white checkered attempt, but we only needed 1, and we got it done.
What a finish there. And like you said, 2 for 2. I'm actually ecstatic there for that one. But talk about this for a second. Like everyone has said through the NASCAR world, anyone can win at super speedways. It shows here as that 00 for Hunter Parsons, a dirt guy, comes into the asphalt world, avoids that big wreck. I thought he was caught up in it. I thought it was see you later. He was done. He gets through there, just finds the hole. He was like a running back. He went right through the hole and takes home the win.
Yeah, I mean, also we were banking on the fact that Hunter Parsons pitted, got no one else to follow him with about 20 laps to go, had to go all the way back to 18th place, marched his way slowly and methodically through all the different cautions that happened in those final 20 laps, finds himself up front and able to get the race done. But as we are getting these drivers ready, we'll talk to our top 3. Before we get there, though, we're going to send it to a commercial break.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
We got to see an amazing race, and now we've got our top three here. Brian, we got to see you beating and banging there for the third place position. How was it out there for that green-white checkered?
Yeah, that was crazy, and the whole race. My plan on the whole race was just kind of riding in the back and stay out of trouble, and I kind of got thrust up near the mid pack, and as we kind of got shuffled into two packs there, I was able to stay in the tail end of that lead pack. Got a couple dings along the way, had to use my quick repairs, and then at the end just gunned it and hope for the best.
Yeah, Alex, you got a question?
Yeah, a heck of a run there, and you had to go through the whole field tonight, and you said had to use a quick repair there, but kept your nose clean throughout, and just talk about avoiding that big wreck going into 1 and 2.
Well, like I said, I once it happened, I couldn't see it. I think I had cars flipping up over me, and there were a couple times tonight that I was able to avoid some accidents, barely. But there at the end, I knew I didn't have a chance to lift. So once I saw the chaos, I knew I just had to pedal down and hope for the best, and it turned out great.
Well, Brian, it was a great run for yourself. Any shout-outs? Floor is yours.
Quickly, I just want to thank my wife, Angela, for giving me the time to be able to do this. I love doing this. I want to thank Team 606 for putting this on. It's such a great cause, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Alsco for helping out with the sponsorship. FEGPC, I know Jeffrey Ford did a lot for this. And also you guys at LSRTV for covering it. Such a great cause and a great time we had tonight.
As Brian Andrick going to be finishing third in the 29 truck. Congratulations on a third place position. And we're going to be moving down to second place. Clay Cox, you had a great run for yourself. Almost had a chance to win this race. What was going on in that final lap?
Man, it was crazy. I got tore up in the wreck before that and had to go from the back to the front about 2 or 3 different times. But we got through that wreck there, going through 1 and 2, and thought we had a shot at it there with Hunter. But we just didn't have the help there at the end. But it was a great finish, and everybody did great tonight. It wasn't a bad race. It was a good race. We had a few cautions, but I'm just super happy for how it turned out.
And then Alex, you got any questions?
Oh, and now talk about you got the chance. You started up front You started up front start the race here. So you had to go through. You were up front. You were in mid pack. You were in the back, and just take us through here, avoiding all those wrecks throughout the race, and then having you had the run of a lifetime to get through everything throughout the night.
Yeah, it was hectic. I was out of fast repairs, and I knew that the wreck was coming, and we just had to put the pedal to the metal and hope to miss it, and we did somehow, and we had to run on Hunter there, but we just couldn't get around him, didn't have the help with the push, and had a pretty good drag race there at the end. So I'm just really happy we had a great finish, and it was really fun.
Yeah, Clint, a great run for yourself, and any shout outs here?
Yeah, me and 8 other guys from Lee County and Betaville, we're the ones that put this together, and we never could imagine how much help that we had from the iRacing community, and LSRTV was a huge help, so we really appreciate you guys. And we had Tyler Booth come on board with the Grand Marshal. That was great for us. We even had Bob Pockers share you guys' tweet, which was amazing. We're just extremely happy that we had all the help that we did from Alsco, LSRTV, with Jeff Ford for getting us a lot of people in this race, and just for everybody putting their money towards a great cause for the flood damage that happened in Betaville. And we're very, very happy that it turned out like this. We never imagined that it would when we started out, and like I said, all of us are very thankful for everybody that's helped put this on.
That's Clint Cox in the 17 truck, able to get a second place finish. Congratulations on getting the second place finish. Then we got Hunter Parsons able to get the win. He was up front battling strong with everyone. And Hunter, do you feel like it was your aggression that really put you up front and able to win this race?
Definitely, for sure. I do run another league that's all super speedway league and races, and you learn a thing or two just from running with guys like Andrew Navarro and Garrett Maines. And I'm from the dirt side, so this asphalt stuff's kind of different to me, but I learned how to be aggressive while being smart and not ruining my race or other people's races. So definitely was a learning curve, and kind of just had to go for it and kind of put myself out there.
And Alex?
And now we talked, you said about the dirt side. I picked you mid-race. They asked me who I was picking. I said, I got to stick with the dirt side here. And I went with you. And it looked like you had the strategy all game planned out. And we heard in the race chat, drivers were getting upset because you had them outplanned. You were cutting off air left and right, and that kept you up front throughout this race. They got irritated with it, but at the end of the day, it helped you out, and you stayed up front. But again, that last caution, second to last caution, you went in the pits. And what did you do? Did you just get fresh tires there, or did you fill up with some more gas because you weren't going to make it?
Before the caution, my pit app was telling me I was going to be clear by about a gallon or by about 2 laps or so. But with three green white checkers, you never know what's going to happen. So I'd rather be safer than sorry. And if we did happen to go into that third green white checker, what would happen? When I saw that I was the only car down pit road, I was concerned because I didn't know if I was just overjudging it or if it would end up paying off or whatnot. So I just wanted to get to the front as soon as I possibly could. And I know there was a caution about 2 laps after that restart, and I somehow weaved my way through it, but certainly wasn't expecting to be the only one to pit there with 15-20 to go.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter, it was a great call on your part. Certainly amazing fact that you were able to get through that carnage there and able to win this race. Congratulations on that, and the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, first gotta thank Michael Hinton. He was in a channel. He told me to hop in before that last restart, and he just kind of walked me through it. Kind of built a nice little teammate right there. Ryan Dupre for telling me about this back on Tuesday or Wednesday, and for sure Team 606 for putting this on for a great cause, and glad we could all help out with a nice fundraiser like this. And like he said, he didn't expect to fill it up, but people are always willing to help. Just got to put it out there, and glad we could help support their cause. Everyone at VLR and FTP, iRacing, iFlag, Dirty Grass Soul, and Door to Door Race Wraps.
That's Hunter Parsons able to get the win here for the Flood Relief 775. Congratulations on the win there, Hunter. And that's now going to be leading us off to finishing out our recap. Alex, a great run for all these drivers. What were some of your final thoughts?
It was a great finish there, a great race. I can say I can't believe it, but man, the big one, there it was. And again, half that field didn't make it through, and half that field didn't finish the race. So I got that prediction right. I got the prediction of the winner right. So again, I'm content. I got another win here.
Yeah, an absolute awesome race that this was. Do want to thank Team 606 iRacing for putting on this event. And also, please go donate to all the funds that you can to help out Kentucky on the eastern side with these historic floods that have been happening. For myself, Sam Dyer, also for Alex Robertson, and also for Charles Wooten up in the booth, thank you for watching today's broadcast, and have a great rest of your night.